Carlo Chavez here with Bum Picks, and let me start off by telling you that I had told you last night that the 49ers will cover the spread, and they sure did that. It was kind of a little shaky there at towards the end of the game. It kind of looked too familiar for comfort because we all know that the 49ers like to stay in the locker room for halftime. But they came out with the dub. They covered the spread. We all hit that bet if you guys did and follow me. We all hit it. I had told you that we're going to start off Thursday night with a confidence booster, and we got this confidence booster, and we're going to take it into Sunday, and we're going to hit more Sunday games. So let's stay tuned. For tonight, I have 3 college games happening under the Friday Night Lights, and don't we all love Friday Night Lights? The first game that I'm going to present to you guys is a Big Ten showdown. We have the 2-3 Northwestern Wildcats traveling to Maryland to face the Terrapins that sit at 3-2. The current odds for this game is the Terrapins are the favorite at -10.5, and we got the Dogs in Northwestern at +10.5. The over-under is 45.5. So let's see how this game plays out. Both of these teams are coming off double-digit losses to Indiana. Indiana has their number. Maryland is coming off the bye, and we all know that Mike Locksley is not a very good coach after the bye. So let's see if things change tonight against Northwestern. Northwestern is averaging 18.6 points per game. They're throwing 175.4 yards, and they're also rushing 127.4 yards per contest. Their defense is giving up 20.8 points per game. Like I said, they gave up 41 points in their last game to Indiana. Their defense is going to have to do a lot better tonight in order to get this dub. The Terrapins are averaging 33.4 points per game. They're throwing 304.7 yards and rushing 146.6 yards per game. So, I mean, they know how to run the ball. I mean, 146 yards is a lot. Their defense hasn't been all that bad. They're giving up 21.8 points per game. But like I said, they gave up 40-plus points against Indiana 2 weeks ago. The good news is that Maryland is at home tonight, and they have won 2 out of the last 3 games at home. Northwestern is 2 games. They've only won 2 games on the road out of 3. In my opinion, the Terps are a way better offensive group, and they're ranking 12th best passing team in the country. And they are also going to face the 123rd worst passing defense in Northwestern. So for tonight, I'm going to go with the Terps to cover the spread at -10.5. I just think this game is going to get ugly by the end of the game. I won't be surprised if Maryland wins by, 17, 20 points. So stay tuned. Like I said, I'm going to take Maryland -10.5, and let's do this first leg. The next game that I'm going to have for you guys, we have a Mountain West Conference game. We have UNLV that is 4-1 going to Utah to face Utah State that sits at 1-4. The current odds for that game is UNLV is favored -19, and we have Utah State that is +19. The over-under in this game is 66.5, and that's a lot of points. I mean, 66 points, 33. Can these 2 teams score that high? We'll see. UNLV is 4-1 against the spread, and they're 3-2 in the over. On the other side of the ball, Utah State is 1-4 against the spread, and they're also 3-2 on the over. Utah is 0-1 in the conference, while UNLV is 1-0, and they are 3rd in the Mountain West. UNLV suffered the loss last weekend. They lost to Syracuse in an overtime battle, which was one for, it was fireworks happening there. The score was 44-41. And like I said, UNLV suffered their first loss in overtime. UNLV's defense was a little suspect in that game. They gave up 44 points. It's a lot of points. They also, along with that, they also gave up 137 yards on the ground and 355 in the air. 355 yards in the air is a lot of yards. The offense is not the problem though. It's the defense. It's giving up way too many points. Their offense has 23 points or more in all season long. And they've scored 41 plus points in 3 out of the 4 games they've had. Utah State's offense performed well against Boise State, and we know Boise State loves throwing the ball. Man, that boy Ashton is a monster. Like, I mean, shoot, I hope Dallas could fail this year to get him, because Dallas needs a running back, and I want that boy from Boise, because that boy could run. Utah State actually hasn't been really good at all against anybody this past year. So, I mean, they're giving up 38 points or more in all 4 games that they've played. Utah State has faced 3 ranked teams so far this season. Utah State's quarterback looked very good. He was 27 for 41 with 372 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions, which is good. The running game looked pretty good as well. They had a total high of 43 carries for 135 yards with 1 touchdown. So the question is their defense, right? The question mark on that defense. Since, for my prediction on this game, since Utah State is at home and they're getting 19 points, I think that's a good spot for us. I think 19 points is a lot of points. So I am going to go with Utah State being the dog at plus 19, and I'm also going to take 66.5. I think both offenses are going to have a heyday. I think it's going to be another 44-41 ball game, just like we just seen against UNLV against Syracuse. I think it's going to be another high-scoring game like that. So for the last game of the day, I present to you the 16th ranked Utah Utes going to Arizona State to face the Sun Devils. Both teams are 4-1. So it should be a really good matchup. The current odds for this is Utah is minus 5.5, and the Sun Devils are the dogs at plus 5.5. Over under is 46.5. So, I mean, that's a little bit more reasonable than, the game that I just said. I mean, that's 20 points less. They both have done positive things in their conference. They both are 1-1 in the Big 12 conference. Utah is coming off a loss to Arizona. That was a heartbreaking loss. I don't want to say heartbreaking because they lost 23-10. But they have beat a ranked opponent in Oklahoma State, and Oklahoma State is no pushover. The Utes are one of the best in the country with only allowing 18.8 points per game. And that's the 21st, and they are the 21st team in the country for yards against, and they're the 22nd, which only allowing 312 yards per game. That's pretty good. That's top 25. That's the reason why they're ranked 16th in the nation. The Sun Devils weren't really turning heads in the beginning of the season. Everybody had them finishing last in the conference. And by all surprise, they're 4-1 right now, and that's really good because I'm not knocking anybody off for their wins. But they did fall to Texas Tech, 30-22, which was a really good game. I mean, they only lost by 1 possession, or 1 score, I should say. But they did bounce back with a home win against Kansas, and they beat Kansas 35-31 at home last week. So that's a high note. They fell to Texas Tech, and they came back with the win against Kansas, which it's a really good home win for them. Arizona State's defense, they've been playing well enough, this far. They're ranked 21st in the nation again for yards against. and that's 311 yards average. Arizona State has established an excellent run defense. They're good up front. They're big. They held Kansas to 100. They allowed Kansas 151 yards in that game, which is pretty good. Their offense is ranked 54 with 23.8 points per game. So both teams have really good, have scored. Both teams haven't really scored much in the red zone. They haven't scored many touchdowns. And in order to win games, you got to score touchdowns. And when you get into the red zone, you have to score. And both teams have not. I think it's going to be a slow-paced game. I think both teams are both defenses are gonna hold their own. I think that front line for Arizona State is gonna limit the Utes to a minimal of the run game. So my prediction for the 16th ranked Utah Utes and the Sun Devils, I believe the Utes coming off a bye, they're going to cover the spread at -5.5, and I think the under 46.5 is going to hit. So like I said before, we have Northwestern going to Maryland, and I have Maryland covering -10.5. I have Utah State at home getting the 19 points and the over 66.5 in that game. And then, like I just said, I have the Utah Utes coming off this bye, and they're going to come off and they're going to have a decent offensive performance and win by a touchdown, and the under 46.5. So mark it, book it, stamp it. Don't be a bum. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and ring that bell. And let's get this dubs tonight, okay? Let's go 5-0 in this in Friday Night Lights. As we know, we need this. So stay tuned.